Hi children, today we're going to learn about these lowercase alphabets, right? So here we have to trace letters. But what kind of letters? Where we would learn and then we would see that how we can trace these lowercase letters. Now here you can see that here we got these lowercase letters. This is your lowercase letter D, and then this is your lowercase letter E, lowercase letter F, and then we got these three together in the last row, right? So let's start tracing these lowercase letters. So here you can see that the first lowercase letter D is already traced, right? And then we got another lowercase letter D, which is this one, right? And we would see that how we can learn to trace this lowercase letter D. You must be wondering that what is the meaning of this letter 1 and what is the meaning of this letter 2, right? Now these are basically the steps. The 1 means that this is the first step that we have to do first, and then second, the 2 means that this is the second step, right? So let's start doing with me and then it would make sense to you all completely. So first, since here we can see that number 1 is written, so that means that this is the first step. So we would start from this point and then we would keep moving down till we reach this arrowhead. So we are done with our first step. Now we would complete our second step. That means we would start from this tail and then we would keep moving and then until we reach this arrowhead. Then we would be done with our second step. So start from this point and then make a round curve. Keep moving down till you reach the bottom and now curve up slightly to complete the tracing of this lowercase letter d. So here we got two steps. We would follow these two steps to complete the tracing of another lowercase letter d. So let's start doing with me. Start from this point since this is the first step and then keep moving down till you reach the bottom. So this is our first step. Now we would trace the round part, which is our second step. So we would start from this point and then we would keep moving down till we reach the bottom, and now we would curve up slightly to complete the tracing of another lowercase letter d. Now we would follow these two rules to complete the tracing of this lowercase letter d. So we would start from this point Now let's start tracing another lowercase letter d. So we would start from this point and then we would keep moving down. Since this is our first step, now we would complete this round part because this is our second step. So start from this point, make a round curve till you reach the bottom and now curve up slightly to complete the tracing of the lowercase letter d. Now let's move towards the second row and see what we have to learn over here. Here you can see that here we got this lowercase letter e. This is your lowercase letter e. Now we would see that how we can trace this lowercase letter e. Here again you can see that here you got two numbers, number 1 and here we have number 2. Number 1 shows that this is the step number 1 and number 2 shows that this is the step number 2. So step number 1 says that we have to start from this point and then we have to make a horizontal line till we reach this arrowhead. And step number 2 says that we have to start from this point and then we have to make a round curve till we reach this arrowhead. So these are two steps that we have to keep in mind when you're tracing the lowercase letter e. So let's start doing with me. So first of all, we would start from this point and then we would make a horizontal line till we reach the arrowhead. We would start from this point again and then we would make a round curve. I would stop here for a second to make sure that I don't make any kind of mistake. I would start from that point again and then I would keep moving down till I reach the bottom and now curve up slightly to complete the tracing of the lowercase alphabet E. Now let's move towards the second alphabet E, and then here again we have to follow these two steps to complete the tracing of the lowercase alphabet E. First of all, I would stretch the line, horizontal line, from left towards right, and here again we would start from this point and then we would make a round curve till we reach this point. We would start from that point again and then we would keep moving down, curve up slightly to complete the tracing of the lowercase alphabet E. Now let's move towards the last lowercase alphabet E. For that, again you have to follow the first step that says that we have to stretch the horizontal line from left towards right. So we are done with that part. Now we have to follow the second step which says that we have to complete this round part. So start from that point again. Keep moving down till you reach this point. Start from that point again. Keep moving down and now curve up slightly to complete the tracing of another lowercase alphabet E. Now let's move towards the third row where we have to complete the tracing of another lowercase alphabet F, right? Now here again you can see very clearly that two numbers are mentioned, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 means that this is the first step and number 2 means that this is the second step. So let's start following these steps to complete the tracing of the lowercase alphabet F. Start from this point. Now stretch the horizontal line till you reach the bottom. So we are done with the first step. Second step says that we have to stretch this horizontal line. For that, you would start from this point and then you would make a horizontal line. So we are done with the tracing of this lowercase alphabet F. So we would follow these two steps to complete the tracing of these two alphabet F also. So we would start first step. So we would start from this point and then we would keep moving down till we reach the bottom, since this is the step 1. And step 2 says that we have to stretch the horizontal line. So we are done with the tracing of another lowercase alphabet F. Now let's start tracing this one. Again, we would follow the first step that says we have to start from this point and then we have to stretch the line till we reach the bottom. Now we would make a horizontal line from left towards right, which is the step 2. So we are done with the tracing of 3 different alphabets, alphabet D, alphabet E, and alphabet F. Now we would trace these 3 alphabets together by keeping the steps in mind. So first of all, we have to trace this lowercase alphabet D, where we have to follow 2 steps. First, we have to start from this point and then we have to stretch the line till we reach the bottom. That is the step number 1. And step number 2 means that we have to start from this point and then we have to complete this curved path. So these are the 2 steps that we have to keep in mind while we are tracing lowercase alphabet D. So we would start from this point and then we would stretch the line till we reach the bottom. Here again, we would start from this point and then we would keep moving down till we reach the bottom. And now I would curve up slightly to complete the tracing of the lowercase alphabet D. Congratulations, kiddos, we are done with the tracing of the lowercase alphabet D. Now let's start tracing another lowercase alphabet, that is the alphabet E. Here again we have to follow the 2 steps. The first step is that we have to stretch the horizontal line from left towards right. And the second step is that we have to complete this curved path. So now let's start doing. First of all, I would stretch the horizontal line from left towards right, since this is step 1. And step 2 says that we have to start from this point and then we have to keep moving. Now keep moving down, keep moving down. Make sure that we have a grip of the pencil. Now curve up slightly to complete the step 2 of the lowercase alphabet E. Now let's start tracing the last lowercase alphabet F, and here again we have to follow the 2 steps. The first step is that we have to complete this curve part and then have to stretch the line till we reach the bottom. And the second part says that we have to stretch the horizontal line from left towards right. So let's start implementing these 2 steps to complete the tracing of the lowercase alphabet F. Start from this point and now keep moving down till we reach the bottom. Again, stretch the horizontal line from left towards right to complete the tracing of the lowercase alphabet F. So this is what we have to do in this worksheet. So always remember that you have to keep in mind steps. For example, in order to trace the lowercase alphabet D, you have to keep in mind the 2 steps. The first step is that we have to stretch this vertical line, and the step 2 is that we have to complete this curve part. If you would keep these steps in your mind, then it would be very easy for you to trace the lowercase letter. And here in this worksheet, we learned that how we can trace the lowercase letter D, E, and F. And in order to trace these 3 lowercase letters, we have to keep in mind the 2 steps. For example, in order to trace D, we have to keep these 2 steps. In order to trace E, again, we have to keep these 2 steps. For F, it is also similar. So this is what we have to do. I hope it makes sense to you all. Thank you so much, kiddos.